So of course, I gotta say congrats on the EP, on the release. I'm sure you're proud of yourself, and we're very happy for you. But just tell me a little bit about your background. Like, you're a vocalist to me. Like, when I hear you sing, it's like, wow. So tell me, where'd you get that vocal ability? Like, and just your background in music in general. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've always loved to sing. It's always been my safe spot. It's always been where I feel like I can be the most vulnerable, the most authentic, the most honest. So ever since I was a baby, I've been singing. Even when I was a little girl, would, it didn't matter if we were in the grocery store, I would sing full out. It didn't matter if we were at the gas station, I would sing full out. That's just what I loved. And my parents really supported and nurtured my gift. And I would not be here vocally if it weren't for them. But yeah, I've done theater, I've done gospel choir, which I love. I've done hip hop with power. I've just done so many things with my voice that I've always been, kind of hiding behind a character,
Mm.
or singing someone else's music or covering someone else's music. And so it was really exciting when I took on the EP for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that a little bit later, but tell me some artists in particular that really inspired you, and your style, because you have a very particular style. And I see like Whitney for sure, especially on certain songs. But like I said, we'll get into that. But and mentioning the gospel choir, I can see where you get that vocal ability from too. So just tell me a few artists, even some albums if you want, that really got you inspired to want to make music.
Yeah, songs in the key of A minor, Alicia Keys. She is it to me. I love her endlessly. I respect her endlessly. And she really, watching her and observing like all the behind the scenes and live performances and even being in the room with her, it was just, she really taught me to focus on the artistry of the song.
Mm.
And I'm of a generation where it's about maybe the virability of a song, making sure a song is viral enough, making sure a song, is gonna pop off on TikTok or, whatever the case may be, which is beautiful in a lot of ways. But she really taught me like the artistry of writing a song and
Mm.
making sure that the emotion is in the song. So her, definitely Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera, just all of the divas, all of the people who really sing.
Yeah.
That's who inspired me.
So, it's funny you mentioned that this whole TikTok era thing, right? And I kind of wanted your perspective on this because you make music that's so opposite of that. And I say that as a compliment because
Mm.
that's the stuff that we love, stuff that I miss, the stuff I grew up with, Like I'm 24, so Neo, Usher, Brandy, Aaliyah, like that's the stuff that I love. And I see that in your music. So you kind of tell me your perspective. Is it a little bit intimidating to see where the atmosphere is, I guess is the word now, the TikTok atmosphere, and when you put out these songs, or is it more like, I want to do this even more so now?
I think it's I think it's cool.
Mm.
I think that at first I was like, okay, this is where we are. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a good thing or not,
Yeah.
but the more that I observe kind of this culture of where music is at and finding new music, and I take, I like to separate the artistry from, kind of making it promotable or whatever the right word
Mm.
is. Um, I find it very interesting. I love seeing people connect to different songs in different ways. And I think it's also giving more opportunities for independent artists like me, unknown musical artists like me, where, while yes, we still have to fight the record labels and all of that stuff, we have this newfound outlet that
Mm.
we can share directly to consumer. Hey, this is what I've got going on. I hope you connect to it in some way. I hope it makes you feel something. So
Mhm.
I think it's cool.
Got you. And I wanted to compliment you on that because I feel like TikTok and socials, like you did a good balance of keeping what's relevant, what we like, or what our, the generation likes, but also keeping it real and like doing the storytelling. Even with the visuals you just put out, the little, um, they're like the loops basically on
Hmm?
YouTube. So stuff like that, like I just think you killed that. So let's just hop into the EP. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask a little bit more about your background, but we can come back to that because I want to really focus on the music because it's amazing, first of all, and I feel like you deserve to get that spotlight for this.
Thank
So
you.
something that I always ask artists I interview is, who were you listening to when you made the EP or the project?
Mm.
Um, and it's kind of relevant to the first question, but where was your headspace at? Like, who were you drawing inspiration from when you took on this project?
Yeah. Like I said, Alicia Keys. I listened to. I have this really special playlist that's kind of like my writing playlist, and it's literally called the playlist, and it's got Janet, it's got Whitney, it's
Mm,
got Money Long. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have so much respect for her as an artist.
Hmm.
Um, and she really even inspired me on the business end of things, but I can get into that later.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, who else is on? Like, there's so many people. Coco Jones is on it. Kiana Lede. I love Kiana Lede.
Mm,
I love her. I love her personality. I love how real she is, and I love how real her music is.
mm,
And Ariana Grande, which
okay.
was interesting because I used to be a really, really big Ariana Grande fan when I was like a kid.
Mm,
Um, but as I've gotten older and I go back and listen to yours truly, all of her kind of earlier projects, I really respect her musicality. So I really loved that for inspiration. Yeah, those were kind of the main artists I listened to.
gotcha. And it's funny you mentioned Money Long. I would put right now I have like a favorite group of vocalists and musicians of this generation. You're one of them. Money Long
Thank
is there. Jalen Josie. I know you know.
you.
Yeah.
I
Funny. I was supposed to have an interview with her yesterday at the Ari show. Just fell through. I was gonna bring you up there too because I know you guys have this similar like Broadway background. I think that kind of plays to your skill level. But she's amazing. Nisha is amazing.
oh
And
yes.
Joyce Rice. Like that's like my, you know, like yeah, that's like my group right now. Um, Female vocalists. So I just wanted to say I'm glad that you're a part of that. And I just think I can see you associating yourself with them. You're definitely in that caliber in that bag. Um, so
Thank
again, let's go
you.
back to the EP. What is the meaning behind the title, Desire and Devotion? Like, is there a specific meaning?
Yeah. So we worked on the project for 4 years. Um, yeah, it has been a journey. There were moments where it was extremely difficult and heartbreaking, and then there were also these breakthrough, beautiful, artistic, yes, I see the lights moments at the same time.
Mm,
But desire and devotion really came to us when we finally had a full body of work. I actually had like 2 or 3 albums worth of music ready to go.
oh,
Um, and it was a little difficult getting a hold of my producer, Adam Blackstone, sometimes because he's literally everywhere, world tours,
mm,
Oscars, Super Bowl. He's doing it all, but he was also helping me
he's the
produce
goat.
the project.
He's the goat.
Yeah. I love Adam. I'm so grateful for Adam. But we sat down and had a meeting and he was like, "Girl, you had too many songs. There are too many songs. Why don't you split them up into smaller projects?
Mm,
One, because that way it's easier for the listener to digest and really fall in love with certain songs. And two, just, longevity and being able to have the Rolodex of music ready to go.
Mm.
Desire and Devotion came from falling in love. We decided that we were going to split the album up into two parts. So there's Desire and Devotion, and then part two is Heartbreak and Healing.
Oh, okay.
You get a mini exclusive
I
right there.
know. Yeah, for real. Awesome.
So yeah, Desire and Devotion is the story of falling in love, whatever that means for someone. Falling in love with yourself, falling in love with someone else. Yeah, that's basically where that came from. And the story between the two, because in my, you're in your early 20s as well. Like I experienced really deep, real, beautiful love for the first time. And it starts as one thing, but then it ends as something else. And I think there's something to be said for lust and romance and the fantasy of all of that, which is beautiful and a beautiful experience in and of itself, which is kind of the first half of the EP. It's all about the lusty, sensual moments. And then as we go to the second part of the EP, which is a little bit more ballady, a little bit more vulnerable, it's about that true devotion to someone and that true level of commitment. So yeah, that's where the title came from.
Man, I love that. That definitely tells me why we like your music so much because you have such a great concept of what you want to come across with. Um, and I can't believe you just told me there's a second part coming. I'm trying to that right now. We're
I'm
gonna
excited.
yeah. And if you want to talk about it right now, go ahead. I was gonna ask you your plans for 2023. We can jump into that if you want to.
Yeah, I think just my goal is last year in 2022, my goal was, just start putting music out and just start putting yourself out there in that space, which is a lot different than putting yourself out there as an actor.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm trying to slow down and like enjoy the first EP and really like put it out there and get more ears on it. But yeah, I'm excited for part two. I'm really excited for part two. And I love that not only is there storytelling like in the albums,
Mm.
but also like you just hear my songwriting getting better. You hear the production getting better. You hear the vocal arrangements getting tighter. Like it's just a journey and I'm enjoying that part alongside the music release element of things.
For sure, man. I can't wait now. That's amazing to hear, and especially if you're saying it's gonna be better. I really, really can't wait.
I
Let's go back to Adam Blackstone, just because,
Mhm.
like I said, he's the GOAT. And you mentioned Jen and one of my favorite particular artists. I know he's worked with her, and I also love Justin Timberlake, another one he's worked with.
Yes.
He's worked with a lot of people, but these are just two that like I particularly love. And it's funny, I could see a little bit of certain albums and their sounds in the production and what came across in your EP. So just tell me kind of how you met him and how the whole project came together with him in terms of, was it like a phone call one time or did you guys meet somewhere or like what happened?
Yeah, we worked together. We workshopped a theater project together that he was working on musical arrangements for because Adam, not only I know that people know Adam for the tours
Mm,
and the live shows, and he's like the mastermind behind all of that, but he's also done a lot of Broadway stuff. Like he worked on Hamilton.
okay.
So, our paths crossed in the theater world, and I think he could sense that it's so funny because when we started this music journey initially, I didn't know like if I could do it.
Mm,
Um, I
wow.
did theater.
What's the difference between theater then and then the music?
I didn't feel it's so weird. It was an insecurity thing. I just didn't feel like I was allowed to be myself musically. Like I thought I had to just be one thing.
Interesting.
And so when I did this project with Adam, I just remember like every time we would sing through something, he would be like, just sing out and sing you, like be you and sing with your soul.
Mm,
Um, And that really just changed me as a person. So I have a lot of respect for Adam just as a human.
Mm,
And we haven't even touched on the music part of things yet. He's just a beautiful person. And so I reached out to him afterwards and I was like, hey, I really want to like do my own music. I don't know if it's gonna fly or if it's gonna fail, but I would love to learn from you. I was just really honest. I was just like, I have so much that I need to learn, and I
mm.
feel like you teach me, and I feel like you're the right person to teach me. And so, luckily, he emailed like right away. He was like, "Yes, of course." And so he's just always been in my corner, you know, creatively and um, as a friend. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I know we're running out of time, so let's hop into a few of the singles. We'll have
Mhm.
the songs, but one of the first song I want to talk about is the single "Miss You," and you know,
Yeah.
that's definitely one of the ones that really got me super excited for what was to come next. So, I'm just gonna name the song and just tell me, a little bit of inspiration behind it and how I felt making it. So we'll start with "Miss You."
Yeah. Miss You was I had a bomb weekend with my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I am in love with this man. And I love him so much that like just the feeling when they're gone and you know you're gonna see them again and you know they're thinking of you and you're thinking of them and just like the spiritual connection of it all. I was like, I'm in love. I got it bad. I wrote the song in 15 minutes. Like I have the voice memo.
Wow,
Yeah, that was Miss You.
awesome. "Hold Me."
Uh,
That's to me Whitney, like straight out. And just the whole production, and again, this kind of goes to how different it is from what's now. And again, that's a compliment. And tell me what was the inspiration behind that, how it felt to make that song, because when I hear it, I'm impressed. So I can't imagine how you feel.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Yeah, Hold Me was one of those songs that was a song that I needed, which
Mm,
I hope translates when people hear it. But I struggle with depression
mm,
and I was going through a really low point where I didn't know, I'm a young Black woman in the entertainment industry and I got started very, very young.
mm,
And I'm such a workhorse that I didn't focus on my mental health.
mm.
And so this one morning, I was sitting at my piano. I was living in Harlem at the time, in East Harlem,
Oh,
and yeah, the song just came to me. I was like, I remember being like, I just want my mom. I just want my mom and dad. And so yeah, I wrote that song, and it's one of my favorite songs. Like it's gonna go down as one of my favorite songs.
absolutely. It's definitely one of my favorite off the EP, but one of my favorites in general. I know it came out a while ago. It was like the first single I think you put out, right? Like,
Hold Me, the first one, yeah.
yeah. So I've been listening to it for a while now, and I appreciate you being open about the struggle with depression and stuff. I definitely think as a part, like our generation, it's something that we all kind of, have to
Oh
balance.
yeah,
It's weird. I don't know. Everybody older than us, they're chilling, but like us, it's kind of like it's weird. But I appreciate you being open about that. I think that again, it goes back to your music and how I feel it, and the whole team feels it because of how open you are on it. So let's hop into probably my favorite, and also I got to shout out Kyle again. This is definitely his favorite song, the part of my team. Um, Three, the last song.
yes.
That song, yo, I think for real, it's the best song that's come out in the last like 2 to 3 years. Really. And I genuinely mean that. Like that I can listen to that and be like, yo, this is just crazy. So
Oh
just
wow.
you have to tell me it's everything about that. Production wise, like writing wise, like inspiration wise. I'm just very interested in that song. And again, it's a compliment to you. That's a great, great song. So
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
cool.
Three, yeah, Three was one of the first songs that I ever wrote in my life,
Mm,
like from start to finish.
wow.
And what's so amazing is that I remember I was sitting, I didn't know, literally 3 years ago, I didn't know anything. I had GarageBand. And I had a little like Guitar Center microphone that wasn't even a condenser mic. It was like a Skype microphone.
Wow.
But I sat in the kitchen and I was just like, uh, uh, and that's really inspired by like Motown, Aretha Franklin, um, just like soul and
Mm.
honesty. That's another one that's just like super vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I did a little terrible garage band demo of the whole thing. Then eventually we were in the middle of the album process already. I was going through some files and I found it. And I went into the studio and I recorded the whole thing a cappella. We did
Wow.
the whole thing a cappella. I should release the a cappella version. I want to. I think I should.
For sure.
But yeah, we did the whole thing a cappella, sent it to Adam. He was like, no, no, no. Give me like a week. So he took it away for a week, sent it back, and it was just like, oh, this is music.
Yeah.
This is soul music. Like, I remember this. I remember growing up hearing this, but it's so weird that it's like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song is a dream. That song, I love 3. One day when I'm hopefully touring the world singing, I can't wait to sing that live.
The only request I have is you gotta let me come and see it live. That's it.
Of course.
Me is
Of
like,
course. You guys are gonna get like, oh, you guys have been so supportive. Like, I have to thank you because like I'm an independent artist and it's hard to
yeah.
get support. Like, it's hard. People are busy, people are stressed, people are sad, people are tired. Like, so I'm really grateful for you guys. You guys are always going to get the VIP tickets.
Nah,
Always.
nah, I appreciate you appreciating it. That means a lot. It's a lot of the independent artists we talk to, like they do face that struggle. So as much as we can help, especially when the music is the quality that it is, we have to help. We'll do like 1 or 2 more questions, and then we have this thing. It's like an ending segment called rapid questions. So,
Okay.
I'm just trying to think. I'm really interested in like your background in terms of Broadway and acting. So I'm gonna kind of condense a bunch of questions into one. I just want to know, what have you taken from those roles to the music now, if anything, And again, I'm
Yeah.
going back to Jalen Josie. I think, I mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but Jalen Josie, like, is amazing too. And I really feel like it's that Broadway and that church like come up. And I'm just interested if any of that, the acting, especially the singing roles that you've had,
Mhm.
if they've affected you in any way with the music you've
Yeah.
been.
I think it starts with honestly, and I'm curious to hear when you eventually talk to Jalen. I'm curious to hear what she says.
Yes.
First of all, I love her. That's my girl. Like, I love her.
Mm.
But I have to start with gospel choir, actually.
Okay.
I'm so glad I started with gospel choir because be truthful, be real, be grounded, and sing for something that's bigger than you.
Mm.
So you have that instilled in my brain at a very young age. And then when I got into theater, perform, reach people, stage presence, tell the story.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely impacted my music in a lot of beautiful ways. I think I know the difference between like a performance track like Dream, right? Something that's just like fun and like hot and cool, but like then I also know how to like pull it in, and then we have the threes and the hold me's, and it's like I don't think I would be able to do that by myself if it wasn't for theater.
Mm.
And like watching my favorite, like I love Stephen Sondheim.
Mm, awesome.
Like, I love composers. I love watching new musicals be developed.
Mm,
It just all hones into the craft of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that, and then, doing TV and film, obviously, it's just a great way to get yourself out there. It's great reach. Like, I get to share my gifts with people, you know?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's just hop into the rapid questions. This is probably my favorite part of the interviews always. It's just like they're nothing crazy, but it's always it's fun to see the answers. So
Mhm.
let's hop into it. An album that if you can only play for a month, what album would it be? Like no other music, just one album for the whole month.
Whitney by Whitney Houston.
The first one,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing album. Saving All My
Yeah.
Love, probably one of the best songs ever. I mean, her rendition of it, obviously, but
Right.
it's and again, I'm gonna bring it back to your EP because I feel like it has similar feels, um, in Hold Me in Three. Just here and there. Favorite song right now though.
Probably Kill Bill by SZA.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that song.
All right.
I love like I sing that song every day. That and Irresponsible by Kiana Lede.
Nice. 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 And that kind of brings me to this next question. A new school artist you want to work with. It could be a few. It could be one. It's up to you. But some new school artists.
Definitely Nisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
She I mean, first of all, let's keep it real. Like she's been around.
Yeah.
She's been here for a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so there's respect there, but also just her ear is different. Her ear is just different.
Yo, for real. And I think she's like the perfect blend of the new, but she still has that feel of what we grew up with. You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's definitely different when it comes to that. Same question, but with old school artists. Anybody if you want to work with.
I mean, obviously, if I could do a song with Whitney Houston, Miss Whitney Houston, I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Um, her or Miss Mary J. Blige. I
Mm.
would. Oh, I love Mary J. Blige. I love her. I have to be so careful because we're both on different power shows, and so I have to be so careful to not like stan. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Someone you want to write for.
oh, I love that question. I would love to. This is gonna sound random, but I would love to write for Kiki Palmer.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
yeah more. Yeah,
she has such a gift,
for
like vocally.
oh yeah.
Like people sleep on her vocals. I feel like she does not get the musical recognition that she deserves.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would love to write like a ballad for Kiki. I would
That's
love that.
that's a very interesting answer. I don't know if you ever seen her do "The Boy Is Mine." I saw like a video one time where she sang it.
For cover,
Yeah, bro. Oh my God. So no,
yeah,
I definitely see what you mean. I definitely see what you mean. A song you wish you wrote.
the song I wish I wrote. I wish I wrote "Crazy in Love."
Yeah.
I wish I wrote that song. I don't know what crack they put in that song,
Yeah, for real.
but it's like every time in every arrangement, the On the Run tours, the Formation tour arrangement, like her first Beyonce experience, like she is that song is amazing. It's timeless. And yeah, I wish I wrote that song.
That's a great answer. This might be a little hard for you, but favorite Whitney song.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I gotta do that to you, but I gotta know.
Oh God. I used to cry myself to sleep at night. Yeah, all the man that I need.
Nice. Great choice.
There is that the performance that she did a televised performance of it, and I can't remember which one it is, but she literally walked off the stage before the song was over. She was like, "Y'all can have it." And it was just like so honest and such a spiritual performance.
Mm,
Like, oh, I love that song. But I'm gonna change. Like, it's gonna be How Will I Know tomorrow. It's gonna be Saving All My Like. It's just
yeah.
love her. How do you pick one?
Nah, yeah, no, I feel you. I knew that was gonna be a hard one, but I had to know. This is the last one. I always kind of, this is a little hard too, but it's always interesting. An album you wish you were featured on.
Ooh, no, I wish I was featured on. What is that album called? Um, it's a newer one. It's Alicia Keys. I think it's Alicia.
The
Did she
most
do
recent
an
one,
album
right? It's,
with Underdog? Whichever what the project that has Underdog on it.
yeah,
I just I harmonize with her like it's in my morning playlist. Underdog is in my morning playlist, and I wish I was on that album.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, manifest that. Hopefully, next album you can be on it.
I hope so.
No, you never know. I think that's about it. I know we gotta wrap this up, so I really gotta say, the EP is amazing. I think what you stand for is amazing, and I really appreciate it. Just as someone who loves music. And we're really excited to see what you do next. I'm especially excited for this second EP coming.
Thank
And like for sure, let us know when it comes, or like when you send us a press release or whatever,
you.
and
Mhm.
show love and support it. And yeah, man, I'm really excited for your career. I really think you're on like the cusp of something insane, and I'm glad we can be here from the start for it. So yeah,
Thank you.
I
And
really
once again, thank you for your support. Like seriously,
no,
it means a lot.
absolutely, absolutely.